Tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Oh no.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a Public Morals after show here on the great AFTERBUZZ TV.
Woo! We back, baby.
That's Roxy Striar, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, that's me. I'm happy to be back for the second week in a row, alongside the amazing Anna Koppel.
Hey.
Koppel for mayor.
FOR.
M-A-Y-O-R.
You guys, I love you guys so much right now. It's amazing.
All right.
And Phil for the first time.
Joining AFTERBUZZ for the first time.
Yeah. Joining the Public Morals panel for the first time.
Very excited about this.
Tina Cap.
Tina Cap will...
I'm confident that she'll show up one day, though.
The public records say she is alive and well. Anyway, episode 2 of season 1. Here we are. Thank you for joining us. If this is your first time, welcome. Thank you for discovering us as the ladies use the 2015 technology of cell phones while we talk about a 1960s show.
Yeah, but interestingly enough, I'm actually going to be in New York next week, so that maybe
has
will
no
tie.
relate.
Let's
start with overall impressions of this episode.
Okay, I thought that this episode was awesome, and let me tell you why. Number one, I feel like I'm starting to get a grasp on these characters more, and this show is all about the characters, and I'm feeling invested in some storylines in a way that I wasn't last week, not because they're not great, but because I didn't know these characters as well. So that's number one. Number two, there was one of the sexiest makeup scenes in this that I absolutely love. There's a few of them, but one of them we'll get into in a little bit. Number three, I thought that this whole season was going to be about the mystery of who shot Mr. O. And I was like, I'm not really in for that. It's not that. And I'm really excited that we know and that there's other things going on. And I'm really enjoying it.
I agree.
I also agree. I'm starting to understand the relationships a little bit more. They're so layered. There's so many different, it's, very familial, and I'm sensing maybe there's going to be a little bit of like a war between the families going on.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe, I don't know, but it's exciting, and I'm loving it.
Phil, how are you feeling about not only this episode, but this series so far?
I like it, and I get the first episode, you're kind of thrown into it, and part of the fun, especially most detective, whether movies or TV shows, that's just the nature of it, and that's part of the fun of it, of like, okay, what is going on? And when you get to learn the pieces and the players, you can have some fun with it, and I'm having fun.
This is the quickest show on television. I think the dialogue, the way that they deliver these lines, what is written, it is so fast. You got to keep up. Like the one scene where the four of them are talking in the police station and they're all going back and forth and talking so quick.
Can you be more specific?
The one scene, it was
they're having their team meeting of
Shawn,
what they're going to do.
It was Terry and it was Charlie and
Mac was there.
Yeah,
and
they were talking about what the game plan was, and they. First of all, it's very East Coast to be a fast talker. So we're in New York, and then there's the Beantown guy, so we're Bostonians and New Yorkers. It's very realistic that they'd be talking this quickly, but I think sometimes shows try to dumb it down for the audience. They try to go slower because they're like, ooh, well, will they understand if we talk this quick? This show isn't caring about its audience in the best way possible. They're like, we're going to tell this story the way that it deserves to be told, and you guys will either get it or you won't. Hopefully you do, but...
Well, that's, again, when you go back to film noir, that's how it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like the 1950s, 1960s film noir. That was the good stuff.
Yeah, and this show, it's good. They got the good stuff in it.
It's never good to dumb down to your audience, no matter what, whether it's television or writing or cooking or anything. It's just never...
Or as an after show.
Or as an after show, but you'd be surprised. We're not trying to dumb anything down. It just seems that way sometimes.
Yeah, it's been a long day some days. It's been a long life. Not as long as these people's lives, though. I mean, bad day for Shawn.
Oh,
Bad
man.
day or good day? Let's start with him, okay? So he's the son.
I felt like that was the transition.
Good.
Yeah, it was good.
It was excellent. So let's...
She's trying.
I'm
She really
trying
is. Yeah.
here.
Well, now give me some thoughts.
Okay, here are my thoughts on Shawn. I think that he's a fantastic character. I'm so excited that he's on this show. I think that when you have a parent that passes away, whether you hate them, love to hate them, hate to love them, you have some sort of feeling about your parent. So when they die, when they're murdered, and you're not the one who did it, you obviously have feelings. He's bottling that up so intensely. At first, it was confusing to me. I didn't even really... Last week, when Mr. O dies, I was like, well, this is Terry's uncle, and Shawn's his cousin, so this must be Shawn's dad. And we even saw that opening scene, but I really wasn't putting the pieces together because Terry and Shawn didn't seem to care. Tonight, I realized Shawn cares. He really cares. He just is trying to downplay how much he cares because he's like, F this guy, he was an asshole. He beat my mom her whole life, and screw him. I don't care that he's gone. But then we find out outside the bar when they start talking crap to him and about his dad, he gets in a fight because he cares.
I'm not sure that he cares that he's dead so much as there's obviously so much unfinished business between him and his father, and he has unresolved anger issues, and to grow up in clear dysfunction, right? The dad, did they say that he was an alcoholic? I think I'm just assuming that maybe because he's always beating his wife, Kay.
Yeah, I think
there was
two
mention
things.
of alcohol.
Yeah, so to grow up in that kind of dysfunction and then and now suddenly he's dead. So that's never going to be resolved ever.
Right.
So now he just has to deal with that on his own. So
I think that is caring that somebody's dead, though, because I'm not saying he's sad necessarily that he's gone, but he cares because there are these feelings and there's these conversations that are never going to take place.
yeah, I mean, I guess we're saying the same thing.
Yeah, on the same page.
Yeah.
Team.
Okay, so one of the interesting points that Shawn kind of made, and I believe it was the first time sort of made in the episode, that six shots for 6 bullets.
Yeah.
Very specific. Now, we know he didn't do it, but regardless, very specific.
Yeah.
To know that.
Well, he's a
that
cop.
early.
He's a cop, and he knows.
Plus,
I
it's
get
Hell's
that.
Kitchen, and people talk, but not to the cops, right? So
Right.
probably like rumor on the street.
But
Right.
yeah. I mean, that, or he saw photos or whatever it was. I loved this interaction, the 6 shots for 6 shots, the whole thing with Deirdre. I think she's awesome. I think her character is so awesome. I love that she walked that line of, this is wrong, and I'm going to tell you this is wrong, but also, okay, you got to deal with things the way you want to deal with it.
I gotta let you grieve.
Yeah, and however that is. So I'm going to grieve with you. All right. Now, is the answer
She
to...
did grieve with him. Yes, she did.
She did. Is the answer necessarily to go out and get wasted? No. Is that how he's dealing with it today? Yes. Is she going to be there right next to him? Yes, it's the only thing she can do. It's really the only thing she can do right now. So I think that she's awesome. I really like her character. I thought that this was one of the sexiest hookup scenes of all time, too. First of all, when they're standing outside and she says to him, "Do you feel any sadness?" And he says, "If I say yes, will you kiss me?" That just did it for me. That writing to me, that scene.
Why?
I don't know, just
Emotional manipulation.
no, their interaction there, her wanting to get this question out of him and him just caring about kissing her, it showed a lot about them. I don't know, I love that scene. And then when they go back and she's wiping his blood off and doing all that, and she's like, "What you just did was messed up." Something about that whole kiss scene, lifting her, whatever, I was hot and bothered in there. I'm just saying, sometimes you watch these shows and I don't feel like they do these scenes justice. I feel like the actors are kind of awkward sometimes, or it's weird, or whatever. These two have such strong on-screen chemistry. It's undeniable. I love this scene. We've seen a lot of makeout scenes on the show, and there's only been 2 episodes. This was by far and away my favorite. I thought they nailed it.
This was good.
Yeah, they did.
That was Good, Phil. That was, I think I liked it certainly because it was more, he was in pain, obviously. Like, he just got in a fight. People were punching him in the face, you know? But it was more important to him to make out with her.
She says, does this hurt?
And he's like, a little. You know it hurts more than that.
Yeah.
It had to. Yeah.
I will also say, you know, hot and bothered aside, the fact that he did beat those guys up actually works to his credit, because then it shows that couldn't have been him. You know, he's fighting anyone that says any crap about his father.
Well,
and when the street talks,
I think we know who, I mean, not I think.
Well,
we
as
know
an audience,
we know this, yeah.
Yeah, but that's just us as an audience. That's not the people.
What is the beef between Deirdre or Shawn and Duffy?
So Duffy last week. So Duffy got out of jail, and then last week Duffy screwed him because he was like, "Listen, come alone. I'm going to try to bring you into the fold." And Duffy came with people, and Shawn was like, "Screw you for telling people." Although I think it's a valid question, because to me that wasn't that big of a deal, and to Duffy it wasn't either.
Yeah, but everyone had concerns about Duffy, right? And to an extent, you knew he couldn't bring money up front, and that was part of the whole bargain of like, hey, you know, Sunday night you got to get the money Sunday night, not Tuesday, right? Tuesday's when the event is, and so he really did. I mean, Shawn really did stick his neck out for Duffy, and I mean the fact that his nickname is Beantown, New York and Boston are not. You know, they're rivals.
That's
and so
Shawn's nickname.
That's Shawn's nickname. So what I'm saying is, Shawn's got a lot of stuff on the line here, and for Duffy to disregard it, yeah, that's a slap in Beantown's face.
But I just sense that this goes back much farther than that.
Well, it's like the kid it's your best friend who you want to help and rise with you and want to see do well, but this kid, you know, Duffy just can't help himself. I mean, look at the way so speaking of that scene of Deirdre and Shawn versus how Duffy interacted with the roommate. Right? Totally different ways of wooing women, if you want to call it that.
Right. Here's the reason that we know you're correct, Anna, that it goes back farther. Because Terry and Mr. O don't like Duffy for a reason. We don't really know what happened. We know that he went to jail. But Shawn understood that they didn't like him, still wanted to give him another shot, but there's something more that we don't know about the story.
But
so, and also Deirdre has issues with her own brother, so he's obviously done something.
Yeah.
We just don't know what.
Do you think it's possible that he just wanted to give him another shot because of his feelings for Deirdre?
No.
No, not at all.
No? Okay.
I think it's a fair point, but I think no, because I think Deirdre was like, don't give him another shot.
Yeah, but that was after the fact.
When they were at the bar, when they first met up, Deirdre was like, listen, you're helping my brother, he's kind of a lost cause. And I think that it doesn't really matter that they're related. I think that he just wanted to help him because he's a friend. But honestly, Deirdre doesn't seem to care much because he's hooking up with Deirdre anyway now.
And I mean, he was willing to help Duffy out before, remember, because it's a shock to him unless he was playing it off, which I don't know your guys' full take on. But at the bar, he's like, "Who's that? That's your sister?"
Well, I definitely think that Duffy is in on something, and he knows about something. I mean, when Deirdre says Shawn's dad is dead, Duffy says, "Wow, what a tragedy." What? Yeah.
I get that, but it's also, and I agree with you, but I also wouldn't take that line. It's also one of those things that because of how much Duffy probably hated him, Mr. O, that it's because everyone said like, "Oh, what a nice guy." Imagine it's all been sarcasm towards him dying, rather than actual heartfelt feelings of, "Oh wow, gee." I can't even.
Well, everybody knew
without sarcasm.
Everyone knew he was he beat his wife. He was a drunk. He was whatever it was. Like nobody liked doing business with him. Yeah. Nobody seems sad that he's gone, which is why I thought this entire season was going to be about finding out who the killer was. And I'm really excited that it's not. Yep.
We ain't about that life.
I love me some Beantown though.
All right. Speaking of.
Oh, correction from last week that was written to us on YouTube. It's the East River that they found the body, not the ocean. I think I said they pulled the body out of the ocean. It's the East River. Thank you for that.
Very good. That's why we love our fans. Speaking of fans, we love when you guys support us, especially with the show that's literally brand new. Your comments on iTunes, your comments on YouTube, the website, it all helps us. We love interacting with you guys, and it lets other people know that we're here, we're good, we're talking, and at the end of the day, we're trying to elevate the conversation. We're trying to be all on the same page and see the different fan theories and so on and so forth. So if you like what we're doing, please take a quick moment and give us a rating on iTunes or wherever you listen to us, or if you watch on YouTube, give us a comment there. And hit that subscribe button on YouTube. All right, let's talk about Jimmy's night. He's having some fun too. He's getting some action.
Yeah, I mean, they're all having fun getting some action.
Well, but here's the thing, because last episode, and even to an extent, a little bit of this episode, everyone says like, "Oh, you're gonna have fun." You're right. His old man told him you're gonna have fun. Now he's finally having some fun.
Yeah.
Because he asked, when am I going to have fun?
This is another one of my favorite characters on the show right now.
I personally hate him. It's like...
Shay?
Jimmy. Yes, Jimmy Shay.
You hate him?
No offense. He conjures the feeling like when you see a rat, you just want to step on it. That's what I feel with Jimmy.
Wow. Well, Anna did predict
He's
last
like a
week
little
that he
snitch.
might be a rat. She did say.
I did say.
I don't know. I'm thinking that he's clever. This dude is clever. He went to
Too clever
Villanova.
for his own good.
Went to Villanova. He was there on scholarship. He's playing baseball. When they ask about the major leagues, he says it's a long story. I think we found out tonight that he's married or something. Somebody said he's...
Yeah. He's like, but I'm allowed to look. Yeah.
And then looking turned into hiring a prostitute, which... as it does sometimes, I suppose, in the 1960s in public morals department.
Still happens today.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
Ashley Madison, have you heard of it?
Anyway, though, so I think that he's an interesting character, to say the least. I do think that he has ulterior motives. One of them is money. Another one might be that he's working for the CIA, or that he's working for some of these thugs, or that he's working for something. I don't know, but I don't trust him completely, but I like him.
But I also think that Terry knows more now. I think that, see, now I'm starting to question Terry's character, because when they're having that meeting in the precinct, Terry's like, I checked him out, he's fine. What's the problem here? And they're like, well, we're gonna check him out too. Like, is that...
Yeah.
That's the deal. And it just seemed, I think I wrote down, I said he's good. So I feel like now Terry's in on it too somehow.
I don't, but Terry's checking him out was the conversation we got last week.
Right.
Which was the whole setup of, okay, here's what's really going on with the public morals division.
Here's why I'm not questioning Terry's motives. Because he is our protagonist. So that's the way they're setting this up. Where we know his family, we have spent the most screen time with him, he's our protagonist. So yes, he may be in on it, but if that's the case, then I think that Shay and him are the protagonists. I don't think that we should look at Terry and assume what he's doing. It might be bad, but I still think we're supposed to like it because he's our dude. That's the way the show is working so far. So I don't know. I think that they're all corrupt cops.
Yeah.
But of the corrupt cops, he's one of the better ones. We see him with his wife again tonight. I wanted to ask you about this, Anna, because we were talking about their relationship last week. So she's doing this thing. She pulls him aside all the time. Like anytime they're doing, can I talk to you for a second? She doesn't want them to go to the wake. Whatever it is. I just find them to have a very interesting relationship, and I wanted to find out from you. Have you learned anything more about them? Do you think that they have... Because last week, Phil, we were talking about it, and we just don't know what kind of marriage they have.
Yeah.
Well, it's not the best one, and earmuffs for 20 seconds if you don't want spoilers, but in the previews, she is leaving him. At least that's the way they make it seem.
Right.
So.
Yeah. I don't know that I know any more about their marriage, but she does seem to have a little bit more power in their relationship than I thought she did last week.
I agree.
Yeah, because she but I don't know. They both have their boundaries. He's like, okay, fine, the little ones won't go, but was it Jack? I don't
James.
know. James. James is going. Like, that's an absolute. So I don't know. I mean, maybe you could look at that as a compromise, but the way they were interacting was not completely respectful or in any way happy.
He had the final say, no matter what. So yes, she convinced him not to bring the little ones, but he's like, James is going, period. So, and then she couldn't say anything to that. It's just interesting. I think it's a relationship to look out for, and with the kids, and the whole. I actually really appreciated that they added this in, the heaven and God thing, whatever. I just feel like they keep giving us snippets of life that are very realistic.
I think
that might not necessarily have to do with other things.
Yeah. Here's how I would deduce their relationship. I think she's someone. I think she's one of the better girls that perhaps, you know, in Terry's life wasn't as attainable, but he got her, right? And she was supposed to make Terry better. And, you know, unfortunately, Terry's kind of brought her down a little bit to his level. And, you know, because she says, like, hey, you know, we eventually should get out of this neighborhood. Like, someone was shot 3 blocks away.
And he says, you're going to make this about that again?
Yeah.
She's like, it's all about that. What do you mean? Yes, it is about that.
So I think it's I think it's rooted in that somehow, some way. So, all right. Before we get back to Jimmy, because we didn't quite finish up with Jimmy, Charlie, and Mac, I want to tell you guys about Casper mattresses. They're one of our sponsors here at AfterBuzz, so I wanted to tell you guys about it. When you make a mattress purchase, it's a big decision, right? You're sleeping on this thing, and if you really think about it, you know, that's a third of your lifetime, a third of your day, so on and so forth. But mattress prices are so insanely high, and one of the reasons is because they're in showrooms, and so many people have to be involved, yada, yada, yada. And even then, when you actually do try a mattress in the showroom, it's not really a great reflection of how it's going to be in your home, so on and so forth, right? So what Casper has done, they're an online premium mattress retailer, and they've simplified the process. They simplified it where you go online and you buy your mattress, it ships to your house, you try it for 100 days. If you don't like it, it goes back. Simple as that.
No harm, no foul.
It's latex, it's foam memory, it's wonderful, it feels good, and by doing that, they've eliminated a lot of the costs. So, you know, a king size mattress, $950.
That's unheard of.
That, like, what's like lesser than a twin mattress?
A single? Is that?
I don't know.
What do you mean lesser?
I don't, meaning smaller. Anyway, the point is that I've seen smaller mattresses than like a twin size for more than like $2,000. So the fact that you can get a king size for $950 is just amazing, and obviously the prices go lower from there. The great part is you can get that king size for $900 if you type in the promo code AFTERBUZZ. So Casper.com/after, that's AFTERBUZZ for those of you who can't spell.
That's awesome. Well, that's great that we can help people who want a new mattress.
That's
they can help us.
Start your own family, just like Terry. Great mattress. Get some for the kids.
What?
That was an interesting thing. I mean, let's get some mattresses for the kids. How about we get mattresses for us?
Start a family.
Yeah, let's put one here. I would do a show from a mattress.
We should do a show from a mattress.
We should do that.
Yeah.
Next.
I'm into it.
Next round. Next round.
Okay.
All right. So back to Jimmy. Back to speaking of mattresses. He didn't use a mattress.
Okay, so is he a card sharp? Was he cheating?
Is he counting cards?
I think he's counting cards.
Definitely.
I don't think he's a card. Yeah.
I think he's very, very smart. I honestly am debating whether he actually got into Nova for baseball or whether he is just really intelligent. And I think he's like, I don't play cards.
It's that shit-eating grin that just makes me want to punch him.
Why are you jealous, Phil?
I'm not jealous at all. I just honestly hate him.
Speaking of that, so this is my first, I'll be honest, this is my first TNT show. And
Welcome to the family.
I was really excited because a lot of the times things like Public Morals, I'm like, oh, if it can't be on a network that can be explicit, whatever. But I didn't even know. They're dropping shit left and right. They're saying it. They're doing it. We're seeing people get shot, and it's nitty gritty, and I love that. I'm loving TNT right now, and Public Morals. Just saying.
Max seems to like Jimmy. But Charlie wants nothing to do with Jimmy.
No, I think that they're all feeling him out because there was a conversation at the bar where Shay's like, I'm taking home $85 a week, and Mac's like, that'll change, and Shay's like, yeah, that's what I keep hearing from everybody, but when does that happen? It's like, well, when we learn to trust you. So I still feel like everybody's feeling him out.
100%.
Well, yeah, they have to.
Well, yeah, but I don't think that Mac likes him yet.
I don't think that Charlie likes him.
Charlie definitely does not like him.
And Mac, I think that they're all, even Terry, he's like, I don't want him to get spoiled or greedy, whatever. They're all looking at him
kids,
wondering.
what, second, third day?
Yeah.
First week, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, Harry, who's the owner of the club, is really the one who initiates him into this corruption, I guess, right? And what did he ask? Do you mind if I buy him a hat? Is that what he said? What does that mean?
It's a term.
But what does it mean?
It was for the woman. Like, he paid for the woman, for the prostitute. I don't know what a hat is.
The hat goes on the head.
Oh, my.
So take it from there.
Okay.
Okay?
Done. Yeah.
All right. Moving on.
I get it.
Yeah. Let's move on then. Let's actually move on.
What I like about it, I like Harry because he's the type of guy like, hey, listen, if this kid's going to be a new kid, we're all in or not. So, you know what? Let's just be all in with this guy.
Yeah.
And I think...
Which isn't the smartest thing necessarily.
No, it's not, but I think he sees the value in Jimmy of the way he played those cards. He's like, wow, I can use this in my whatever scheme he's got planned.
Yeah.
Or was planning. And now he can do with him finally.
Yep. I'm with you.
All right. Anything else about Jimmy before I...
No.
Okay.
We gotta call him Shay, though.
Yeah, because I have no idea who you're talking about when you say Jimmy.
Shay.
But they all refer to him as Shay.
And also
fine.
James Shay, Jimmy Shay. It's just Shay.
Yeah.
Shay.
All right, Shay.
Yeah.
Shay. It'll take me a little bit.
Okay.
That's fine.
All right, let's talk about the most interesting name of the night for me, Battlelino. Right? That's how you say it, Battlelino.
Who?
Bueller. The guy Terry meets up with, the detective on the case, the lead guy.
Battlelina, I think.
There you go. I wasn't that. How far off was I? That you couldn't understand it.
All right.
Oh my God, Lord help us all.
Should we start over?
So it was just the fact that it was an interesting name. That's what you just loved, that he had an interesting name. That was the point.
Best part of the show.
That wasn't the point. I said the most interesting name of the night was, and then I said his name. Now, in terms of the storyline,
you did not say the most interesting name of the night. What you said was the most interesting part.
Let's talk about him before we derail this completely. So he's this is a man who can get us information and get things done, unlike us.
Like our fearless leader, yeah. You can get us nothing.
I mean, on this show, no, seriously, on this show, when you can get information, you are the man of power.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are the voters. Vote. Should Phil stay? Or should Phil go? Was the panel better without Phil?
No, Phil's staying. But we should all maybe do a little more prep before we start rolling.
I think we're killing it right now, guys.
Yeah, this is maybe the best show we've ever done.
Oh my gosh. All right. Anyway, what are we keep going. Let's go. Let's get into this.
Your favorite part of the show. Let's hear it.
No, I said this is the man who can get information. This is the man who knows. And I thought for a moment, especially the way they lined it up, and we'll kind of talk about Rusty in a moment, but I was very nervous of who's going to get to Susie first. It became a race for Susie. And unfortunately, we're not there because we lost that race.
I don't feel like it was a race because they were like, let's just finish these beers first. Like, if it was really like, ooh, we have a witness, like, let's go now.
Here's the thing. If Susie was the first lady, they would have rushed there. Susie is a prostitute, and they didn't care. And at the end of the day, that's a horrible thing to think or say, but that's the truth of the matter. Is I don't think they really cared. They're like, well,
I think they're also I think they're underestimating whoever actually did it too.
Well, maybe, but in all fairness, last week we see that Charlie really cares about this woman who is a prostitute and a school teacher, Stacy Potter, and he does. But I think that in general, these cops Go ahead.
But I also think, though, it has to do with who was shot. That had it been
That's true,
one
too.
of their own.
That's true, too. They don't really care about Mr. O that much. They don't. And that's something that Terry says tonight when he sits down and he's sitting with Mr. O's wife. She's like, will you do this? And he's like,
Yeah. Could he just lie to his
just
aunt?
say yeah.
Yeah.
By the
Well,
way,
he's a
her
good
freaking
Christian.
Face,
Well, not the best Christian,
her
but
face, the poor woman's face.
Yeah.
She's sitting there saying he's such a great man. This is something that is so sad to me. I don't understand women that do this. Or people that do this. It's disgustingly, horrifyingly, sickeningly sad. She's sitting there, black eye, bleeding, cut open, standing up for him. It hurts my heart. I feel so bad for her. And then when she asks her nephew, who's on the force, to help, and he says, no, I'll just give it to somebody else. Just tell the woman what she wants to hear. Like, come on.
Right. You can't lie to her while she's bruised and bloody
Broken.
and
She's
crying.
broken.
She's broken from the inside out. Yeah, absolutely. That was not a good move on his part at all.
No, absolutely not.
No compassion.
I couldn't believe her face. I couldn't believe it. This is days after. I mean, it was horrifying. And so that makes me think, no wonder Shawn hates his frickin' dad. This isn't like he got drunk a couple times and pushed the mom around. Like, he must have been wailing on this woman for years. She had like scars, and it was horrifying to look at.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was a little tangent of mine, but I felt really bad that he didn't help out there. That he didn't say he would help out. But that it goes back to the point that that's why.
Here's the thing. But in order to help her, why? Because, okay, she's gotten rid of this problem, right? But if he says, okay, I'm going to take care of this, you're right. Because then you're enabling the idea that this guy was a good guy. And then what's to stop her from now latching on to emotionally just any other guy and now accept beatings because that's just what she's used to?
You're not enabling the idea that he's a good guy. You're solving a murder, which is his freaking job.
Well, he's not the lead.
And it's his family.
And it's his family, yeah. So there are two reasons why he should be following through. Two pretty legitimate reasons.
You're allowed to mourn however you want. You're allowed to go and get drunk. You're allowed to not care. You're allowed to have all those things. But it's your job to figure out who killed this guy. So you got to do that.
If he were, an attorney, if he were an accountant, then it would be silly of her to be asking him. But he's on the police force.
And it's his uncle.
Fair enough. I get your point. Well, here's right now to I'm going to stick to the idea for me that they just also are underestimating whoever did this. And now that they're going to see two bodies now also dead because of the involvement of this, and especially the one, they were going to Susie directly, maybe not the fastest, hey, let's turn on the siren kind of way, but they were going.
They were going, and there are two more bodies, and you want to know what? I think that Red and whatever,
Rusty
Red and Rusty are being careless about this. They go, and they're talking to Grandpa, and Grandpa's like, listen, this scene was incredible too. And he reminds me of like one of those old-fashioned, listen, you kids, deal with this. Like, whatever he's saying. Honestly, you murdered somebody for no reason. Now fix this shit. Now. Like, you have no other option. Don't kill anybody else. Clean this up.
Yeah.
And then the first thing they do is they go and shoot.
Well, they don't shoot.
Well, no, they strangled the...
They strangle the person in the car, and then they shoot a woman in the street.
To be fair, that wasn't Red. That was Rusty.
It was
Red and Rusty.
It was Rusty all three times. And so yeah, I loved that scene too. I loved it. Brian Dennehy, is that... is
Grandpa.
Amazing. But I think that's Rusty's father.
No, but it's the grandpa of the girl who came and asked for cash.
Oh, right,
So
yeah.
He's a grandpa.
Sure.
And parents always get into trouble.
And...
Just don't get caught.
But what he said was, we are not street thugs anymore. That is not what we do. And
then they go and kill two more people.
Yeah.
Are you crazy?
Yeah, I love it. He's clearly not ready to take over the family business at
Obviously
all.
not.
And yeah, I'm really excited to see more of their relationship because there's.
I think this kid by the end of the season is gonna die.
Which kid? Well,
Rusty.
Yeah, you know for a fact that he's gonna die because he's just cast on another show. So.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, because well, there goes my predictions.
Well, you know he could do two things. You know.
Well, actually, yeah, this is a different season, so but it's different. Yeah, I guess.
But either way, here's the thing. I mean, the fact that
I met him.
How was he?
It was great. He's a singer. He has a band.
There you
I had him
Bring him in.
at Sonny McLean's Boston bar.
Get him in here.
go. But the fact that his own father pretty much hates him, and then the fact that you got Terry kind of investigating this. Eventually, an enemy of my enemy is my friend. Mm-hmm. And so I think Rusty's gonna go eventually.
Yeah.
By the wayside.
Red too, honestly. But Red is a little smarter because Red doesn't actually have the blood on his hands. Red is making Rusty do all the dirty work.
But he's just as stupid for allowing this kid to do what he does.
Not just as stupid. Not as smart as Grandpa, but...
I mean, he's allowing him to be a thug.
Maybe he's smarter because he wants to take over the business. So he's letting Rusty do all of this.
Something I was thinking about too. Definitely. He's like, well, at the end of the day, Rusty murdered 3 people. I didn't murder anybody.
And he was feeding Rusty things like, your dad's getting older and whatever. Just like let it be his time and you'll take over. And so he's sort of like giving him those
motivation.
Ideas. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I wouldn't be surprised. That's a great prediction.
Very good, Anna.
Hey.
Very good, Anna.
What?
Should I be nervous about your intents and how you think?
Like camping?
Yes.
But
Anyway.
I have no idea what's happening right now.
I don't know, but he said intense, and I made a joke like camping.
But why would you be nervous about my intents?
Because you can read criminals.
Oh, yeah. Well, I am a criminal.
Well, that's not the case, but you do have a background in law, so maybe that's the helpful part.
Maybe.
Very good. All right.
But you should always be worried, Phil.
Well, now more than ever.
Apparently. But the other thing that we just briefly mentioned was his daughter, or the granddaughter, that comes in and asks for money. And that was a really interesting scene, too, because it was like, haven't seen her before. Who are you? Where are you going? Why is he just dishing you money? By the way,
Saratoga?
you're always going to get in trouble. Just don't get caught.
Yeah. Yeah.
My wheels are spinning. She was pretty, too. Obviously.
Oh, real cute.
Yeah, really cute.
Indeed. A lot of good-looking women on this show.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so speaking of Susie, how do we feel about her friend T?
Yo!
Because she now knows, but she's alive, and no one knows that she knows.
T's the worst friend of all time. All time. I'm not saying that she doesn't have reason, because she's in danger, too. But you're going to just do that to your friend? They're obviously not really friends. T might also be a prostitute. T might want nothing to do with that life. T might have told her to get out many times. I don't know, so I can't blame T. But from what it seems right now, T's the worst friend ever.
Yeah, she's not the best. She did give her good advice, which was get out of New York. But yeah, give her a ride or something. You know? Help her cut and dye her hair.
I think that, I think it more highlights the fact of how dangerous it actually can be, and it is. The fact that T's that worried for her own self.
Why did she... Go ahead.
Well, as selfish as it is selfish, but it's selfish for a seemingly good reason of this is dangerous times.
The guy that was strangled said, all right, listen, Mr. O was with Susie and another woman. So he didn't know the woman's name. I guarantee you that woman was somebody that T also knows. Not T, but somebody that T knows. That person might, and that person was on the run. She said Ruby or something. Is that person going to go to T? Is T like the mother hen of this group? Is this eventually going to come back to T? Are they going to be able to try?
Here's why I think, because Susie said this was a new girl. She's a little nuts.
Oh yeah, she did say that. I don't know. I just think that this is going to get back to T somehow. Because otherwise, why did we introduce T?
Well, 100%. Because I think T might take some action. She might spill something in the wrong ways. Because out of nervousness or whatever.
Yeah, could be.
But why did he even let her over to begin with? Because Susie said enough on the phone where she's like, I saw it happen. And so if you're that concerned about it, why did she even let her over? Because she just wanted to, like, hear all the tea about it?
Either say on the phone, you need to get out of town, or say come over and help her. Don't say come over, leave my place, get out of town.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, all you did was slow her down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird. And honestly, if she had left 10 minutes before, she would have lived. But the bigger question for me was, if she had gotten in the car to go to the train, do we think that she would have been shot by Rusty anyway? Because she only was shot by Rusty in the street because she says to him, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything. I don't know. She played it cool, got in the car, pretended she didn't know anything. Would he just dropped her off at the train station and let her go?
I think so, because I think, like, the way it started in the car with Uncle Red as well. And I'm sorry, what is the name of the bar owner or whatever who was also strangled? But he started to say, he was like, as a matter of fact, Mr. O was never there.
Right.
And then when Uncle Red Carl. When Uncle Red starts asking more details, he's like, oh yeah, like those two girls, and she thought that's when he gets strangled. So I think they were just trying to, like, tie up loose ends, making sure nobody's going to talk, and they would have let them live because
it's better for them not to have blood on their hands.
Right, exactly. And they don't want to upset Papa Joe.
But the smart move here would have been to say, all right, I know you're not going to say anything. Let me give you a ride to the train station. Kill her in the car, somewhere remote. You're in the middle of the street outside her apartment and you just shot her 6 times. Are you crazy?
He does like the 6th shot.
Somebody's going to hear that.
It's a signature.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
That's his move. It's like his Dexter thing.
Yeah.
There must be all the bullets in the gun. Shoot, I was going for 7 this time.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into some predictions.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
All right, what are we predicting for next episode?
Starting with Anna.
Oh, boy. Next episode, huh? Well, it looks from the previews that it, spoiler alert, it already looks like Terry and Joe Patton are maybe shaking hands, making deals. I don't know. Long-term prediction, I think, despite him getting cast on another show, I think that Rusty's going to get too eager to take over the business and kill his father.
He's playing checkers, not chess.
He's going to kill his own dad.
That's right. Yeah, I like that, Phil.
That's the problem. Also, it should be mentioned, the first 4 episodes are available on TNT On Demand.
Right.
We have not seen those, so we're not...
Yeah.
Trying
you
not
guys-
to skip ahead. Right.
Right.
I think that Rose, who's the granddaughter, is somehow going to be tied into this story more than we think right now. Like she's going away to meet up with what?
What if she's the other hooker?
Oh,
Maybe.
jeez.
Maybe. Yeah, I'm thinking that was good teamwork right there. Makes the dream work.
Yeah.
Something. She's tied in somehow.
Jeez. Too many... Why?
Because she says, I learned my lesson the first time. Did she?
Well, what did she do the first time?
We don't know.
We don't know. Okay.
We do not know.
Fair enough. All right. Well, who knows? We'll see.
Is that your prediction? We'll see.
We'll see.
I
Who
predict that we
knows?
will see.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And just
Yes.
in general, though, I do have to say that I know we are kind of goofy here and all over the place, but we love this show. I'm
Yes.
totally loving this show. I
like
love
the
you guys'
cliffhangers.
participation at home. I'm loving the cliffhangers. I'm loving TNT. I'm loving Public Morals. I love being back with the Revenge panel. I love you, Anna, and I love you, Phil, and I love you, Tina Cap, and I love you guys at
Wherever
home.
you are.
That sounds so silly, like a little love fest, but really,
No,
we're
but
here
really.
because we enjoy doing it and talking about it, and just so you guys know, we're a little
being
silly,
together.
but that's just our personalities.
Yeah.
By the way, in terms of how I think the format of the show, I think every week we're going to get a cliffhanger, and that's going to be the quote-unquote case of the week for the next week, and then something's going to go awry. We'll see.
That's a good prediction.
That's my prediction.
Yeah,
I
I
could be
like it.
totally wrong.
It was
We'll
better
find
than
out.
we'll see what happens.
We'll see. I don't know.
Indeed. All right, thank you guys for joining us. In the words of Roxy Striar, love all around. At Roxy Striar.
Yeah, you guys can find me at Roxy Striar. You can find Christina Kaplan at Tina Cap. She also will be joining us next week for this panel. Unfortunately, I won't be here because I'll be in New York. I'll try to do some 1960s digging up.
And for more mystery, go to thetomorrowshow.com. What is it? We don't know.
Yeah.
Find out.
Coming soon.
Thetomorrowshow.com.
You can find Anna
at Koppel for Mayor, KOPPELFORMAYOR, and here on the AfterBuzz TV network, hosting Ray Donovan,
which I've joined.
which Roxy has joined.
There
Very
you go.
exciting.
You can only vote for her on Twitter, Instagram, and all the social networks.
Vote for her.
Koppel for mayor.
Oh.
Yes. Hopefully
One
she's
day.
not corrupt.
One day.
We'll see you next time. Bye for now.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.